and leave Mayweather Promotions?
It don't necessarily have to be leave Mayweather Promotions. It's about just becoming that man, handle your own responsibility, your own priorities. So I feel as though it's my career, so I feel as though I need to be the one to control my career. You know what I mean? So, and it's time. You know what I mean? Everybody don't need to, have them training wheels on them forever. You know what I mean? It's time to, ride their own bike without training wheels.
So this is your last fight with Mayweather Promotions?
Yes, sir.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So what you just heard was the voice of undefeated 3-division world champion, superstar boxer, Gervonta Tank Davis, who is 26 wins, no losses, no draw, 24 big wins by way of knockout. He is 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. He's going into a showdown with his fellow stablemate, undefeated WBA lightweight title interim contender in Rolando Romero, who is 14 wins, no losses, no draw, 12 wins by way of knockout, 26 years of age, 5'8" with a 68-inch arm reach. That's scheduled to take place this upcoming Saturday, May 28th, at the Barclays Center, New York, New York. With that said, I know people have been saying, let me address this, they're not stablemates. They are under the same promotional company. Well, that makes them stablemates. Floyd Mayweather's stable of fighters includes Gervonta Tank Davis and Rolando Romero. So that makes them stablemates. So I just wanted to clarify that. And then Gervonta Tank Davis, he stated it's time to take the training wheels off. Okay, we got to make it happen. Okay, he stated that, it's just about growth and it's time for him to take his own career into his own hands and not sit around and wait for everybody else to dictate and control his career, okay? That's what his longtime trainer, big brother figure, mentor, Coach Calvin Ford have been saying all along. It's not personal. It's a situation where Gervonta Tank Davis is simply, maturing, okay? And in his maturation and his maturity, he decided that, he should be making the decisions for his career moving forward, okay? Not nobody else, okay? And so he wants to, push forward with GTD Promotions, Gervonta Tank Davis Promotions, and he wants to take control of his career. He wants to make the big fights happen, okay? Many people, now he was asked in this interview where many people feel like, Gervonta Tank Davis has been fighting powder puffs, okay? And Gervonta Tank Davis, he stated that that's not the case. It's just that he's such a big figure. He's viewed as the cash cow and the biggest superstar from junior welterweight on down. So he's saying that just because he's the biggest figure, in the lower weight classes, that the expectations on him are a lot different, okay? And he, talked about, fighting guys that are smaller than him. And then he stated, look at the frame of Leo Santa Cruz, 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer. He's actually bigger than me, okay? He just fought in lower weight classes than I've fought, but he's actually bigger. His frame is actually bigger than mine. And this is something I've been saying, okay? Leo Santa Cruz is about 5'7" with a 70-inch arm reach, okay? So he has the frame. Leo Santa Cruz making weight is also a skill, okay? Making weight is a skill as just as any other skill, okay? And Leo Santa Cruz has the skill. Now he has a wiry, thin frame, but he has the skill to make himself fight at 118, 122, okay? At 5'7.5" with a 70-inch arm reach, okay? He's nearly as tall and rangy as Floyd Mayweather, okay? Now, he has the skill and the frame to be able to allow himself to fight at those low weight classes. Hence the reason he's a champion at 122, 126, 130, 118, 122, 126, and 130. Okay, he's a 4-division world champion. Okay, he's looking to become a 5-division champion. That's the reason why he wanted to challenge Gervonta Tank Davis. He was brutally knocked out in their fight. But with that said, Tank Davis, excuse me, he attests to, people claiming that, he, hasn't fought anybody, and he said that's just simply not true. But now he's going to be a free agent. He's looking to secure all those big fights, as many big fights as possible. And then he starts to get into undefeated WBC lightweight world champion superstar boxer Devin the Dream Haney, who is 27 wins, no loss, no draw, 15 wins by way of knockout, 23 years of age, 5'9" with a 72-inch arm reach. Devin Haney is going into a massive undisputed showdown next Saturday, June 4th, okay, against undefeated, newly crowned unified lightweight world champion Australian star boxer George KAMBOSOS Jr., who is 20 wins, no loss, no draw, 10 wins by way of knockout. He is 28 years of age, 5'9" with a 69-inch arm reach. So they're scheduled to take place June 4th in the States, June 5th in Australia. Okay, they're going to face off against one another, and for undisputed. And so Gervonta Davis, he had this to say regarding Devin Haney. Let's listen to what he had to say.
Well, stay there and be loyal to Floyd. What do you think about that?
He's an email champ. He's an email champ.
So he said Devin Haney is an email champion. Well, to attest to that, him being the email champion, okay, which is just simply not true. What happened is that two-time Olympic gold medalist, 3-division world champion, former unified lightweight world champion, Ukrainian superstar boxer, Vasyl High-Tech Lomachenko simply didn't want to fight Devin Haney, who was his mandatory. He opted to become franchised after he fought for the vacant WBC title that was vacated by 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Mikey Garcia, who moved up to fight Errol Spence Jr. Okay, he vacated the WBC title, and so Lomachenko fought Olympic gold medalist, British star, lightweight title contender Luke Campbell for the vacant WBC title that initially Devin Haney was supposed to fight Luke Campbell for that vacant WBC title, but they allowed Lomachenko to leapfrog Devin Haney and fight for it. And then Devin Haney was supposed to fight the winner, which was Lomachenko. He became the mandatory for Vasyl Lomachenko, okay? But Vasyl Lomachenko opted to be franchised because he wanted to sit and wait. He fought Luke Campbell in August, okay? He wanted to sit and wait for the winner, excuse me, of Richard Comey, Teofimo Lopez IBF title showdown that was taking place in December 14th to be exact. So he fought Luke Campbell in August, okay? He opted not to fight. Now, he stated initially, this being Lomachenko, he initially stated that he wanted to fight another fight after his fight with Luke Campbell. He wanted to stay active, and he wanted to fight. Obviously, the winner of that fight is not going to be ready to March, okay? They fight December 14th, okay? So the winner of that fight is not going to be ready for at least 3 months, okay? And so he stated he wanted to stay active, okay? Now, when asked about Devin Haney, he stated that Devin Haney was green, he wasn't ready, he was too young. But he wanted a tune-up fight in between his Luke Campbell fight. So the perfect fight would have been Devin Haney. Since he was too young, too green, not ready. Well, you want a tune-up, then he represents a tune-up. But he opted to stay franchised and stay on the shelf opposed to fighting. Then he fought Teofimo Lopez and lost. So the fact that people say Devin Haney's an email champion, well, if that's the case, then you have to say undefeated 2-division world champion, WBC reigning middleweight world champion, superstar boxer Jamal Lyons Only Charlo is an email champion as well, because he received his belt in the same manner that Devin Haney received his belt, but nobody refers to Jamal Charlo as an email champion. They both got the belt the same way when Canelo Alvarez was franchised, and Jamal Charlo was Canelo Alvarez mandatory, and Canelo Alvarez opted to go in a different direction. They franchised him. They elevated Jamal Charlo to the WBC middleweight champion. He didn't beat anybody for that title. He was given the title. So if Devin Haney's the email champion, then you got to say so is Jamal Charlo, but nobody says that. But let's keep listening.
Fighting because somebody mailed him the belt. How is that? Did that ever happen in boxing before? And he's talking crazy, and he still got like, come on. So if you win, you say all that. If you win, I'm not out my contract. Let's make the fight happen. Since you was want to talk crazy, let's do that. I want to fight you if you win, Devin Haney.
I love it.
So he calls out Devin Haney, and he says that he wants to fight Devin Haney. He's out of his contract. So since he's out of his contract, I want to fight Devin Haney. Okay, well, we know that Tank, he stated that he's still going to stay with PBC, Premier Boxing Champion, founder and advisor Al Heyman, and more than likely he's going to stay with Showtime, Steven Espinosa, president of Showtime Sports. and Steven Espinoza. So Devin Haney has a lucrative deal right now that he's with ESPN, legendary promoter, top-ranked CEO and promoter Bob Arum, you know, to fight George Kambosos on ESPN. So he's currently with ESPN, but this fight can definitely happen, right? And so Gervonta Tank Davis, we know they have a history. They have 2 glorified sparring sessions, okay, that took place that nobody's privy to but the people that was there. The first one, you know, people say that Gervonta Tank Davis got the better of Devin Haney, and the second one, Devin Haney got the better of Gervonta Tank Davis, okay? And this has been an ongoing rival and saga. And, you know, Gervonta Tank Davis, this would be a huge fight. Now, Devin Haney wins, he will be undisputed. So Devin Haney versus Gervonta Tank Davis for undisputed would be enormous. It would be enormous. They are the 2 biggest grossers from junior welterweight on down, Devin Haney and Gervonta Tank Davis. So that will be enormous. So then he goes on to, you know, say this about Devin Haney, okay?
I can dish it out too, and that's what it's gonna be.
And he's going to pay the price for that on May 28th.
I can't even tell you. I don't even know. I don't even know.
He's going to go on to say that, you know, Devin Haney is attempting to be like him. He wants to be like him down to getting a leg tattoo. Listen to what he had to say.
And just to put it out there, Devin, you see how he talking about me? If you pay attention to him, everything he do, he watch me. Everything, the leg tap, everything. I got everybody doing everything as me. So stop, y'all keep saying that all this barking, but y'all want to be me. I do everything I do, and that's my say on everything.
So you heard what he said. He said Devin Haney wants to be like him down to getting a leg tattoo. So he said that everybody's saying he's doing all this barking but not fighting, but everybody wants to be like him, right? So like I said, this would be enormous fight. This would be absolutely huge. Devin Haney versus Gervonta Tank Davis, especially Devin Haney beats George Kambosos in Australia. Now, the problem is Devin Haney, he has an immediate rematch clause with George Kambosos in Australia again. So if he is successful, it's going to boil down to George Kambosos actually activating his rematch clause. So we got to see if George Kambosos would activate the rematch clause, because if he activates the rematch clause, well then this is null and void. Now, another fight Tank has been looking to seek out was the fight with Lomachenko, okay? So maybe they could get a fight with Lomachenko, or I would like to see a fight with Gary Russell Jr. and Gervonta Tank Davis. That's a fight they've been calling for since he's a network promotional free agent, right? He's still going to have his loyalty to PBC and Showtime, but he has more freedom. So if Devin Haney has to fight George Kambosos the second time, Lomachenko fight with or Gary Russell Jr. would be huge. Those should be the 2 options for Gervonta Tank Davis after Rolando Rolly Romero. It should be, if Devin Haney's not available, now depending upon how Devin Haney beats George Kambosos, he knocks him out, dominates him, it may not call for an immediate rematch, right? Maybe ESPN, maybe they say, listen, we want George to get back in the win column, take his time, take on somebody else like Canelo Alvarez is seemingly doing, going to fight Triple G, then look to rematch Dimitri Bivol. Okay, maybe that's the route that they take, and then Devin Haney's available and make the fight with Tank Davis. I'm sure Bob Arum and ESPN will love nothing better than to have a Tank Davis versus Devin Haney fight and for undisputed, and they're involved. That would be enormous. So, but if he can't get Devin Haney next, I like to see Gary Russell Jr. and Gervonta Tank Davis, or Gervonta Tank Davis and Lomachenko. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. But this is great news, man. I love it when it plays out like this. It's fight week for Tank Davis. So let's see how everything unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all in one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.